At first, the plant did what plants always do. It closed its leaves. Touch a mimosa pudica, the shy plant, and its delicate green fronds snap shut, a reflex as old as evolution itself. But in a quiet laboratory in the 2010s, one scientist began to wonder something dangerous. What if the plant wasn't just reacting? What if it was remembering? The room was small, controlled, almost sterile. Rows of potted plants sat beneath soft lights, their leaves trembling at the slightest disturbance. And day after day, the same strange ritual unfolded. The plants were gently dropped, not harmed, not shaken violently, just enough to trigger their defensive response. Snap, closed. Again, snap, closed. But then something unexpected happened. After dozens of drops, the leaves stayed open, not because the plants were damaged, not because they were tired, but because they had learned something new. The falling didn't hurt them. And more astonishing still, days later, weeks later, when the experiment resumed, the plants still remembered. This wasn't instinct. Instinct resets. This was memory. The scientist behind this unsettling discovery was Monica Gagliano, a researcher who dared to ask a question that made many of her peers uncomfortable. Could plants, rooted, silent, brainless organisms, store information over time? Her experiments were meticulous. Light levels were controlled. Temperature was constant. The plants were healthy, and yet the results refused to disappear. When the harmless stimulus returned, the plants didn't bother closing. They had already learned the lesson. Skeptics pushed back. Memory requires neurons, they argued. Memory requires a brain. But the plants didn't care about definitions. They responded anyway. Further tests showed the memory wasn't fleeting. It wasn't a momentary adjustment. The plants retained it long after the stimulus vanished, an echo of experience etched somewhere deep within their living tissues. No eyes, no ears, no nervous system. Yet somehow, experience left a trace, and that realization landed with a quiet, unsettling weight. If plants can remember, what else are they doing that we've never noticed? Forests communicating through underground fungal networks, trees warning neighbors of danger, roots altering growth based on past stress. Suddenly, the green world around us feels less like background scenery and more like a silent intelligence we've been walking through our entire lives. The experiment didn't just change how we see plants. It challenged how we define awareness itself. Because maybe memory isn't owned by brains alone. Maybe it's a fundamental property of life. And if that's true, then the world is far more alive than we ever imagined. If this story made you see the natural world differently, please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment below about what surprised you most.